Number one is offering discounts for your wedding videos. Now, when you're doing your very first videos, you're probably gonna have to either discount or do a wedding for free for a friend or family. But after that, you're gonna wanna try to get away from offering discounts for your wedding videos as quickly as possible. I made this mistake when I started out. I offered 50% off and I booked like 5 or 6 weddings. And those were the weddings where I had the most problems with my clients. It just usually works out that the higher paying clients are the better clients to work out with. It also means that they have more money for their venue and things. You're gonna get better shots, you're gonna be in a better venue, things like that. But in my experience, dealing with the clients that are willing to pay a little bit more has always been better than the ones that booked me for a discount. Not focusing on audio. When it comes to wedding videos, there's a huge missed opportunity by not focusing on audio outside of the ceremony and the speeches. By making sure you have some sort of audio on your camera or to your camera, it's really gonna enhance your video because audio is half of your video. And when wedding videos are just a music montage to clips, it gets boring quick. It's not as engaging. There's not as much story to your videos. And audio is really gonna step it up. A couple tips to do this is get yourself a lavalier. Having something like the Rode wireless system is great because it goes straight into your camera. Even something like this little Sony audio memo recorder works wonderfully to capture audio at the first look with the dad, or if there's an uncle or something. You can just throw it in someone's pocket and get really nice audio. It's nice and close.
Hey!
You look beautiful.
Thank you. You look spiffy. I love.
This is save my butt if you don't want to spend as much on a wireless system. These are only like $100, but just being able to get that audio in the moment, getting that noise of the girls reacting when they see the bride for the first time, just getting audio from people talking, it really enhances your videos. Overshooting and not shooting for the edit. This is something that I really fell into when I was starting out. I was so nervous that I wasn't gonna have enough footage from the wedding day that I just was always trying to shoot everything. And when I got to editing, it was just so frustrating to comb through all this footage I had. So you're probably gonna end up doing this anyways on your first couple weddings, but I encourage you strongly to think about what you're actually gonna use when you're editing and really just focus on those, because there's a lot of stuff throughout the day that isn't gonna make it into your video. It'll just make your workflow much faster when you're editing, give you less headaches, and you'll also save on storage space, which is also really nice. This is a really big mistake that beginners make, is they don't have a detailed contract with their clients when they book the weddings. If you look at a Facebook wedding filmmaker group, you're gonna see countless questions, people asking for advice when a bride is angry because something didn't match up with their expectations. And that's really the main reason you wanna have a contract, is that it sets the expectation for what they're gonna get. So really make sure you have a contract that clearly lays out what they're getting, what to expect, when it's gonna be delivered, when they have to pay certain things, all of these things. And if you don't know where to start or what to include in your contracts, I did make a video about photo and video contracts that you can go and watch up here after you finish this video. Either way, having a nice contract is gonna give you peace of mind, it's gonna give your clients peace of mind, and it's just gonna make everything so much smoother. Not being present with the couple on the wedding day. When you're first filming weddings, you're gonna be so focused on your camera, your gear, getting the shots, that it's really easy to get into the trap of not interacting very much with the couple. And it's gonna be a missed opportunity to make a really great connection with this couple, where they're gonna advocate for you as a business. They're gonna give you referrals. Like, this is your moment to shine through with your personality and really get them to like you. By focusing on the couple, being present with them, it just sets you above all of the other vendors there, because you have time throughout the whole day to get to know them, make small talk, just really build a relationship with them. And that really helps you out in other aspects too, because if they really liked the experience they had with you on the wedding day, you're gonna have less problems. They're gonna be more understanding if there are anything with like the delivery times or things like that. And they'll leave you good reviews, which only helps you. And word of mouth is the best way to get more clients for weddings. So by having that relationship with them, they're gonna wanna tell their friends that are engaged that, hey, this videographer was amazing, you gotta have him at your wedding, and that's only gonna help you book more clients. Relying too much on a gimbal, and when you're using the gimbal, you're always moving. So this is a mistake that I definitely struggle with, because I always want to make sure I'm getting the shot as stable as possible, but I always fall into the trap that when I'm holding a gimbal, trying to get a shot, I sway. I get that parallax. It's like the only move I do when I film weddings. And it's something that I definitely struggle with. It's really kind of noticeable when you watch a video back and every clip is moving. What I would suggest if you struggle with that is do the moving shot. You know it looks good, it's cinematic, whatever. But after you get that shot, do another shot just holding still. Do another shot, try a different movement, you know, just experiment a little bit more with your shots. You'll have that backup shot where you know you like it. It's kind of your fallback of that moving shot, but just try doing other things. And then when you're editing, you'll see that maybe you do like that stationary shot better. You can still get it on the gimbal, but you know, and then experiment with doing some handheld shots. So after you get your gimbal shots, you know you're safe, just do a couple handheld shots. But most times when you watch really good wedding films, a lot of the shots are just locked off. So on a monopod or on a tripod. So just experiment, try to get away from using your gimbal so much. Another big mistake is beginners tend to not think about lighting the reception at all. So they'll just show up and use whatever lights the DJ has or the venue has, but bringing lights to the reception is such a game changer for your footage. And to me, it's a must-have for speeches and the dances. There's nothing worse than having high, noisy, grainy footage from the reception because you didn't use lights or have bad white balance. This will solve your problems. Just bring, in my opinion, you at least need 2 lights for the dance floor and for the speeches so that you can light the couple, you can light the speech givers from 2 directions. It just makes it look so much better. And it'll solve your frustrations with the bad footage from the reception if you don't have a camera that has good low light performance. But even if you do have a camera that has good low light performance, the quality of the light in these venues is usually not very good. So having good lights that you can use, even just some small LED panels, that's what I use, and they're enough to just give a little bit more shape to the speech giver's face, the couple's face. It just makes it look so much better. Having too much gear or big bulky gear. On a wedding day, it is such a fast moving day that you cannot be bothered by lugging around all this equipment. So you really want to make sure you have a nice, simple setup, something that is reliable, works well, is versatile, but very minimal. You want to try to not have too much stuff. And like as a filmmaker, new gear and stuff is fun and having more stuff is always fun, but on a wedding day, it's just something that slows you down, gets in the way, and you're gonna miss more shots. So in my opinion, just having a nice minimal setup that you're really comfortable with is way more important than having the latest and greatest camera or lenses or multiple angles. By the way, if you're enjoying this content, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel so that you know when I post my latest videos. And if you have any questions or suggestions about making videos in general, leave it in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys and get your feedback on the videos I make and suggestions for any video topics that you would love to see. Overdoing the slow motion. This one's also hard because when you watch films, there's all this nice slow motion footage in your edit and is somewhat of a crutch for getting that cinematic look. And there are times where it is really nice to do during like the photo time. And it's something that you kind of have to do in certain situations. If your clip is only so short and you need it to be longer in the edit, then slowing down can really help. But when every shot in your video is slow motion, you have no live action shots of the couple or people interacting and things like that, it's something that can really stand out in your video that kind of just shows it to be a little bit more amateur. You want to try to just be intentional with your slow motion. Doing establishing shots and like the details where you're kind of just getting that like nice floating footage, like that is a good opportunity to use slow footage to get that nice smooth, just like cinematic shots. But again, I would just say get your slow shot and experiment with getting some that aren't. So if you're struggling with that, just slowly try to transition out of it. So still like incorporate it in your videos because that's what they want and if that's your style. But I would just suggest to be mindful of how much you're using it and try to mix it up. It's always a balance with videography. Another mistake is being afraid to outsource some of the things you have to do. This is something that I was kind of scared of by not having control over, but there was a point where I was getting really overburdened because I had other projects and things going on outside of wedding videos that I was super stressed with having to edit them. So I found a local editor in my area and I tried outsourcing one of my videos and it came back so good, so much better than I could have put together. and it was still my style. They did really well with working with me the whole time and matching my style. So I ended up outsourcing a good chunk of my wedding videos the past year, and it has been so nice to not have the stress and burden of all these wedding films that I need to put together. So that is something that you should not be afraid of. Or if you're not very experienced like at flying a drone and getting drone footage, like hire someone to come on the day and film the drone footage so you don't have to worry about it, but you get really nice drone footage for your videos. So just look for different aspects of this industry that you don't like, and don't be afraid to experiment, you know, invest a little bit of money to try outsourcing that where you can, and it's only gonna make your overall experience much better. Another mistake is promising your videos too soon and having too short of due dates. This is something when you're starting out, it's kind of scary because you don't want people to think you're just gonna sit and take your jolly good time editing their video, and you kind of want to stand out from the other people. But something I've learned from doing that is, I'd promise like 4 weeks, and then I would have like 3 weddings in a row, and I would just sit and struggle to get the edit done in time, and then the next one I would have a shorter amount of time because I took so long on the first one. So just don't be afraid to push your due dates out. What I do now is I am upfront with my clients and I tell them, yeah, it takes up to 4 months to get your video. You know, I tell them that I work first come, first serve, and after, you know, a busy season, we get a little bit of a backlog, so it just might take a little bit more time to get to their video. If a client likes your work, like, they're gonna be totally understanding about it. And I also think it helps you out because say the wedding day wasn't that amazing, you know, it happens sometimes that a wedding day wasn't like spectacular. It kind of gives them enough time to forget about the day, that when they get their wedding video and they can relive it, it's fresh, it's new, it's, you know, they had forgotten a little bit about their wedding day, and it kind of helps get them to really love their video, in my opinion. One last thing that beginners tend to do is they worry a lot about what they're gonna wear on a wedding day. This is something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's a real thing. Like, if you don't know what to wear on a wedding day, it's really stressful leading up to it. So in my opinion, as long as you look professional enough, I dress comfy, man. When I started out, I was always worried about, oh, I need dress shoes and stuff. And at the end of the day, I would have the worst blisters on my toes. Like, I hated it. I hated it so much. So lately I've just been wearing black sneakers, some black jeans, and a nice polo, and I don't really care what people think because no one cares. You're there to do a job. As long as you look professional enough, you can get away with it. Like, it doesn't matter. So be comfortable. You're gonna be there for 8, 10, 12 hours. You got a lot to do. It kind of comes down to your brand and what you wanna put out there. So this is kind of a personal preference, but in my opinion, I don't think anyone cares what you wear. You're there to do a job, and you gotta be comfortable while you're doing it. One last bonus tip, bring a cooler with snacks, water, Gatorade, granola bars, all the goods. You're there a long time on the wedding day, and when you get hungry on a wedding day, you get hangry. You don't work as good as you wish you could. So bring a cooler, throw it in your cart, leave it in your trunk, but have some food, have something, so that when you get hungry and it's not reception time, or if they don't feed you, which put that in your contract, you got something. So bonus tip. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. My name's Mitchell Losi, and I love making content about making videos. So if that's something you're into, definitely get subscribed. And if you really like this video, you will definitely like this video.